and then it starts to switch back on again.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think, because of the voltage of that experience, because it was so extreme,
It was energy.
You had to go to that place in order to receive that download?
Yeah. And looking back on it now, I'm realising it was a frequency, an energy frequency. And my body had to assimilate that, or it wouldn't have been able to.
So you were getting rewired in effect.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been able to.
Your system couldn't have coped with that voltage.
Exactly. Well, it had the effect where my hair turned white. Literally within a matter of weeks, my hair had gone from hair down my back, auburn, a lovely beautiful auburn, to pure white. And the more
at 30,
at 32,
yeah.
But it was like practically overnight. Since that experience with the...
So when your hair started to grow back...
Yeah, it was pure white. It wasn't grey, it wasn't in bits and pieces, it was white. And I tried to put colours on it years later, but nothing would take. It was so strong, it was pure white. Anyway, and I've learned since that when something like that happens, people's hair do, when they've had a spiritual enlightenment and stuff like that, it's the voltage of the energy that causes the hair to turn, change colour. And all of it, while I was there, although I was going through all these different fears, and terrible, terrible fears, because it wasn't just one thing happening, it was one thing after the other, and you weren't given time to recover from it. Now, and this pain, tremendous pain in my head, that I'd had to learn to live with and deal with it, because the doctors must be right. They're telling me that there's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, here I am, convinced I've got a brain tumour because the pain was so bad. That affected the whole of my body. Now, I hadn't even eaten for practically 3 months. I didn't sleep the best part of 2 months. And anybody that says that, oh, you can die for lack of sleep, well, wrong. I'm still here, and I know I was awake, and that was all part of, you go through a barrier. We are amazing superhuman beings, and we don't even know it. And I'd obviously tapped in without realising it to this other part of me, the higher self,
I mean, it sounds like...
the potentials that we all have, every human being.
Because all your chakras lined up in one on that experience,
Yeah.
And the voltage just came surging through.
Yeah.
And didn't you not eat for a certain amount of time and then suddenly just got up and went, right, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I hadn't eaten practically for 3 months because even just to eat, my head was exploding, and even no appetite. So of course that was it. I went off eating. All I ever existed on was water, and total deeply depressed with it all, and then after that amazing experience, which I might add was in a most amazing, holy, spiritual, beautiful feeling, and being shown everything, all in a matter of minutes, right? To be shown so much, and it explained everything, universe, why we're here, everything, and who we are, which was the main thing. That to go from somebody, and they were talking about force feeding me, by the way, to go from that, practically anorexic, a skeleton in severe pain, to walking up to this nurse and saying, who was new on the ward, I'd like a dinner, please. They'd all just had the dinner previous. I'd like a dinner. And she didn't know any of my background, and she just came along and put this, oh, says you're in luck, there's one left. And she gave me a dinner, and I sat down and I ate it.
And you're not eating for...
I hadn't eaten for nearly 3 months. And when the sister came in and she said to the nurse, what are you doing, Mrs. Kilroy, what are you doing? And she said, and the nurse said, what's wrong? She said she's not eating, and we were going to get her on liquids.
To build you back up.
To build me back up. Well, here I was having this meal and I didn't have any side effects, because she was thinking I'm going to have these...
Yeah. Throw it all back up.
or the bends or whatever.
Yeah.
Bad stomach, Anyway, no. No adverse effects whatsoever. I noticed then the pain that had been absolutely killing me for 3 months, exploding my head, starting to subside. I felt the most amazing love for everyone and everything in those moments. Looking at people and the love that was coming from, not Ethel, the other that was coming through, the other. And I remember walking out onto the corridor, and there was a woman who everybody was frightened of, screaming hyena she was, hair down here, you know, she was your typical mad woman, and she's screaming her head off. And I was terrified of her as well, before. This isn't... Then I started walking towards her. But Ethel was observing Ethel, the spiritual one, walking towards this lady, and she's screaming her head off, and as I locked onto her, my eyes, and she started to calm down, and I literally walked up, and the love that I felt for this poor soul, you can't describe it, but I just put my hands out and I kissed her cheek.